Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is going to be on the Kagero. This is, like I said a few times, one of my favorite destroyer lines in the entirety of the game. But let's start off with the commander. It is Tanaka. It is the free-to-play commander, but I do have a Geist on it, or a skin. So it does look different. Inspirations, as always, Eric Bay, Jersey Swirsky. For your skills, contact is imminent. Look at me now. Never take fragile threat. It's not worth it. And we're going to go ahead and take perceptive because you always want to know the closest enemy ship is to you. Smoke on the water, and we'll explain this one here in a minute. But first, legendary skill, if you have it, take Unstoppable. This is a line I did very early, as I said. It was the second tier 7 I ever had, and one of the ones I rushed, and you should definitely take Unstoppable, in my opinion. Now, for your upgrades, you're going to want main battery mod 2 for your first modification. It will help you with your turret traverse and kind of keep the guns on target while you're in a battle. Propulsion mod 2 to help start and stop. Obviously, concealment mod in the third mod slot, and in the fourth mod slot, torpedo mod relauncher to get them to reload quicker. Actually, it's a good idea in these boats because a lot of times you're not being spotted if you're playing it correctly, and I'm going to show you some mistakes with this one. And we are going to go ahead to the first upgrade, which you want to take firing range increase. And then you want to take your torpedoes to up your torpedoes, and then your hull upgrade. So, for your loadout, and this is one thing I want to talk about. Definitely, I'm switching it now so I don't forget. The torpedoes, when I was new, they sounded like a really good idea, but for me in a destroyer, being able to disengage with 2 smokes is way more important than me missing with another set of torpedoes. Let's be very clear. We also get 3 engine boosts. It should be 2 if you have the right correct legendary skill, but for the sake of the video, I have 3 in there. For survivability, 1,500 hit points. Again, not entirely an overwhelming amount. The guns are, you have 6 5-inch guns. Also, again, this whole line has underrated guns. Are they the best guns in the game? No, that's not what I'm saying. But people don't use them, and you absolutely can use these guns. Torpedoes, it has 8 very hard hitting Japanese torpedoes, and these ones are a little bit quicker. So when you are playing it, if you hit somebody with a torpedo, they're gonna know about it. AA defense, it really doesn't have any. It's actually worse than the Akizaki, at the tier before. And maneuverability, it's a little bit slower. It has a good rudder though, but not overly fast. Concealment 4-9, and you can really sneak up on people in this ship. For your armor, actually, we'll show stats. Even though I played this very early and was a very terrible player when I was in this, the ship was good enough to give me a winning win rate, and I was a terrible player when I had first got into this ship. Armor, it's a destroyer. You have none. I mean, you don't want to be spotted unless you need to, and then make sure you're getting whatever you're done and going back unspotted if you're able to. As we go ahead and start this match and check who we're up against, I do want to say it is disclaimer time. This is a beginner's guide to help out people just learning this ship or learning the game in general. This is not for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything. There is also multiple ways to build and play ships, so opinions will vary. I am just a above average player. I don't claim to be the best player in the world. I just am a pretty darn good player. So I do make mistakes. You're going to see some in this match. And also, you didn't come to this video to see how to pronounce names, as I am very terrible at slaughtering other beautiful languages. It's almost an art form, so keep that in mind when you're watching this, guys. With that out of the way, we are at Haven, and this is my favorite map probably. But in a destroyer, it is actually a little bit on the tougher side. You get some narrow kind of confined spaces, and you can get caught by people not paying attention. So we're going to move up and try to spot. So as always, with the holded Japanese or any destroyer in general, if you have a chance to get out and give your team the first ability shots uh, in the match, it definitely can help doing that. We're also being aware of in destroyers. I'm always kind of aware of secondary ships. You can see I'm already looking at Brandenburg. I do know there's an Atlantico somewhere, and that's where I got to be careful. As you see, there he is right there. So when I see secondary ships, I'm just a little bit more conservative, just because if I get spotted, it can go bad. Now, obviously, I know the destroyer is right here, so we're going to go ahead and send torpedoes out. I thought he was back behind this island, and as you can see, there he is right there. It's a Jaeger, and to be honest, I want to get rid of him before he can send out a cajillion torps. So we're going to go ahead. You can see these guns are not bad, but I am spotted by the entire team, and they are all shooting at me. Now, he does get his torps off. I'm fortunate enough to not get murdered here. And I want to be very clear, guys. This is why you take the smoke. I could have disengaged a lot earlier and would have not had any troubles at all instead of getting a torp reload that I didn't end up really needing. But because we have it, we're going to send it over at the Brandenburg in case it does decide to back up. I want control of this cap. I don't want the Brandenburg coming in or the Atlantico. Atlantico really is my biggest threat. I see the destroyers over there, so I'm being a little bit cautious. But main thing is getting this cap here right now and staying away from the Russian cruiser there, because that can go real bad for me too. But again, trying to stay in the middle of the map and spot. Spotting is always a big thing. Don't just go into a cap and use your smoke just to get the cap, and your teammates don't help or don't get any help at whatsoever by your spotting. So as you see, we do get a couple hits on Brandenburg. Now, one mistake I made there is I should have definitely spaced out them torpedoes. I always like to layer my torpedoes, not so much in Japanese destroyers, because they hit so hard. A lot of times you're just going to depth strike people if you get a good set off. But in actuality, I should have done that. Now you can see here, we're contested. There's a lot of their ships with secondaries. As you can see, Massachusetts, Brandenburg was also pretty close in Atlantico. So, as always, you want to make sure you can win the fight. Now, we did get rid of another destroyer already, but we're going to try to get this Akazuki to chase us. This is what my goal was to get him to chase us without being spotted the whole time, so Atlantico and Massachusetts just mess us up. If I go to war with him right there, it's a real bad play for me because I don't have smoke. Even though you're gonna see here, I make a mistake thinking I have smoke later on, but you definitely want the two smokes. You can see we could have used it already earlier in the match, and this is gonna be a match of a couple mistakes here because I definitely played like I had smokes here. So you're going to see here in a second. Right now, like I said, I wanted Akazuki to chase me. He doesn't. He's smart. He gets the cap. Good play by him. Always a good see to good players. We're watching Atlantico. Atlantico to me is the biggest threat here. So I want to keep him spotted and get to a position where I can try to get rid of him. Sure, the cap is important, but I can't really do much with that cap while this Atlantico is here. The second I get spotted, you guys know them secondaries on that thing are pretty gnarly. And the last thing you want to do is be in the Atlantico's crosshairs. As you see, the I can't, was it Akazuki? Yeah, I think. Anyway, he's laying down a smoke screen. We see a set of torps going to the back of it. We're throwing a set to the front, and we've thrown a set to Atlantico. Now here you can see I'm not. They're already being spotted by my destroyer off to the left. So I'm not worried about spotting him right now, but I am going to move up and try to get rid of him. If I can get rid of Atlantico, it's a huge deal here. As you can see, I start to think about going in and just attacking. I'm pretty aggressive, and I do some dumb stuff. It's not going to be the only dumb thing, but I was really actually thinking about just going in and straight attacking this other destroyer, so we could have gotten two of their destroyers off the board instantly. But instead, we're going to try to get rid of Atlantico, who's hiding up against the mountain right now, or up against the island. I think he's trying to not get spotted. You see our torpedo friend here is throwing torps at him. Now here I make a major mistake. I throw torps like he's gonna go by the island, or if he's gonna make the turn, which is a good thing to do. But what I didn't do is realize I don't have smoke. This is a stupid maneuver. Don't do this if you don't have smoke. I thought I could have smoke and disengage. In fact, I even hit the button. I even hit the button here to throw my smoke and then go, oh crap, I don't have smoke. Like, if my mic had been on here, you would have heard that. But we do get rid of them. But Massachusetts is actually, I think Massachusetts were taking shots at us. Now we disengage. We see the Akazuki. Now I'm not scared anymore. Atlanta's co's gone. He can't wreck us, and Massachusetts is backing up. And we need to start getting these caps now before we lose the lead. And we're going to go ahead and move in. I'm trying to get close enough to use my guns and be behind the island so I'm not spotted. And we're going to go ahead and get our butt moved in here. As you can see, I notice there's another destroyer in the decap, but right now we have to focus on this destroyer. Now, we did get rid of the other destroyer already, so that's good. But getting rid of the destroyer and the Atlantico, that's a huge positive right now. So no matter from here on out, I'm happy with what I did. Now I wish I had played with smoke and not been dumb in that regard, but for the most part, we've been a plus to our team. We've taken somebody out, helped take out somebody else, and we're on our way to try to spot this destroyer for our teammates. So, or take the cap. So either here, I'm going to either find him, and we do completely see him. I start shooting, and I thought for sure I was going to be okay here. And somebody, I don't know who, it's Massachusetts, lights me up. So we're going to try. We got no smoke to disengage here again. We could have used smoke a few times, but we're going to do our best to go ahead and get rid of this Akazuki with our, I believe it's Minnesota helping out. And our Minnesota does in fact get rid of it. Thank gosh for that. But we put ourselves in a good spot. We helped our team out a lot. Again, it's not about damaging these destroyers, although you can have some really good damage games. It's more about being smart, helping your teammates out. Is you definitely in these cruiser or destroyers and destroyers in general, you could be the biggest thing that affects the match if you play it right. And we did get rid of two. We got rid of one destroyer. We helped get rid of another. We helped with the Atlantico. We helped spot. We took a cap. All good things to help our team win. But anyway, you can see we 68,000 damage, not the highest damage total, but 3,000 base XP, even dying that early. You can see how much we affected the match. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one.